Hey guys, welcome back. This is Scott. Now, I have something for you on Mars. It's actually a fossil clam, and the clam looks like it's about 1 meter to maybe a half a meter across. It's pretty big. These are both identical photos. One is just a different hour, so it's a little bit darker here, a little bit lighter here. Now, the clam itself is right here. And it's kind of amazing in the fact that, clams on Earth, the giant clams this size that are half a meter or bigger, they are 500 million years old. Now, look at this. You can see the detail, the edging of this clam all the way down, and it's also edged right here. You can see the edges a little bit right here, and it's just kind of amazing. It's sitting out there on top of the sand. Now, I just read in Ethiopia that there was a giant clam that was found. It was about 1.5 to 2 meters, and it was found 2 meters under the ground using some kind of sonar. It was kind of awesome. They found under the sand. But even in the desert of places like that, you can find clams. I mean, I was just here in Utah, and I saw a fossil on top of the surface, and it was a clam. And I actually see quite a few fossil clams out in the desert. It's just kind of crazy cool. Do you remember the fossilized fish I found long ago? And it was pretty right on. I mean, the quality of it was just absolutely amazing. Let me zoom out and look at the other identical photo here. And it shows it a little darker, a lot more contrast. I didn't do this. It's just two photos that were very identical of the same area. Now, guys, does that or does that not look like a clam? To me, it looks like a fossilized clam. Now, fossils are stone, okay? Minerals and all the basically stones and substances that have been washed with water, hard water and everything, have replaced all the pieces of the animal creature itself, and it becomes the stone. The stone is all that's left after millions and millions of years. That's not always the case. Sometimes there's also bone and even other DNA fragments to it, like for a mastodon is like 25 million years. That's not very old, really. So you can really get some good stuff from a mastodon. But like a tusk, mastodon tusk or bone. But this is different. I mean, these giant clam fossils on Earth, 400 to 500 million years old, okay, to the great extinction, they call it. But this, I don't know. It could be older, it could be younger, but it definitely looks much more worn than the ones found on Earth. Here is just a simple Google search for giant clams, okay, giant fossil clams, and you can see them in comparison to the people around them. Here's some over here in the Philippines. They confiscated millions and millions of dollars worth of these giant clams, and you can see people posing next to them. Some have more detail, some have less detail, like this one. Each one's different and unique, preserved in a different way. Kind of amazing. Let's look at my website, UFO Sightings Daily. Now, on UFO Sightings Daily, I have reported many different fossils I found and others have found on Mars in NASA photographs. You see this seashell, ancient seashell, and here's one on Earth, and they're very similar. Now, it's very odd that NASA never talks about these things, but these objects are just there. That's me, many years ago. And here's a fossilized fish. I thought it could be one of those flatfish or something, and it looked kind of interesting. It's not as great as another one I'm about to show you in a second. Here's another fossil, it looks like, on Mars of some kind of plant or animal. And you come down, some faces and things I found. A statue or an actual human-like being that's just, a foot across or so. And it's fossilized. The person is fossilized, and they're kind of relaxed and laying down there. I mean, there are these things out there that are just amazing and you want the answers to, but NASA won't give control of the rover to anyone but NASA. Now, here is a megalodon tooth. It's about 25 million years old. That's my hand holding it. That's mine. And here's a tooth fossil I found on Mars, near the Mars rover. Kind of amazing, very similar. The only difference is the coloration, because NASA likes to put things in black and white, so it's harder for the public to determine what it is. Here is a leg one of my friends found. Absolutely amazing. You could see the fossilized remains of this, the joints up here, the leg bones down here, the part that connects to another joint here. This is like the upper thigh leg part, and the knee would be here, lower down here. Kind of amazing, I thought. Here's a fossilized skull. Details just amazing. Sorry, it's just, a very small photo there. It's an older post, but still, it's there. You see this fossilized coral. Okay, fossilized coral or sea sponge on Mars. This is something I found back in 2022. You can see Earth, Mars. Big similarity on these things. You think I'm just talking, but I'm not just talking. I'm actually showing you 100% evidence that the possibilities of fossils on Mars exist. Here's something I thought looks similar to something I found at the beach in Taiwan. This is the Mars rover photo, and it looks very similar to something I found, which was I found a set of stingray teeth, fossilized stingray teeth, and it's kind of cool. Here you don't see the picture of the discovery I made at the beach, but it's very similar. It's very similar. And if you've ever found a fossil at the beach, you would understand. Very unusual shape, just sitting there in the rock. What is that? It's very odd, and it does look mechanical or seashell shape. Now, here's some more odd objects sitting there. And let's go to probably what I would call one of my best ones. It's not this. This looks like one of those jumper fish. In Taiwan, we have these 3-inch fish, and they get up to like 7 or 8 inches near the ocean. And they come out of the water. They jump on the steps. They jump on the sand. They jump on the rocks. And they kind of jump across the beach. It's kind of cute. But they can flip themselves about 10 meters away when they're frightened. Their tail just whips across. And this is on Mars, guys. This is Earth, Mars. So if fossils don't exist on Mars, how are we finding all these things? How is it possible to find all these possibilities that exist? I mean, if we were given the Mars rover just for a few minutes, think of the possibilities we can find out right there for the public. Now, this was one of my best discoveries, I thought. A fossilized fish. Okay, now you could find fossilized fish in around a world in desert areas very, very easily. There are some places that are more or less good for digging for fossils. Now, this one was just incredibly pronounced. Look at this. This is normal color, unedited. This is colorized. Can you really say that this is not a fossilized fish? Oh, I think not. I think it is. This is a fossil. Look at the detail on here. It's just, look at the ridges of the fin and the separation between the fin and the body itself in the back. Look at this. It's like some kind of small salmon or trout or a giant trout. It's just absolutely amazing. Look at the detail here. The caved in stomach area, because, it was dying and the lack of nutrients. And when a fish dies, the stomach area here kind of collapses a little bit on itself and goes inward. If you've ever seen a dried out fish on the beach. So anyway, these are just some interesting discoveries I made. This is my website, UFOsightingsdaily.com. You can go there anytime you want, www.UFOsightingsdaily.com. I just think that finding these things and reporting them are of uttermost importance. So if you could help me out by hitting that like and subscribe button, share these videos. You can put the videos on your own website. If you just put a link back to me, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Just link back to this channel, and tell me your thoughts. Do you like fossils? Do you believe the fossils exist on Mars? Or do you think life has never existed on Mars? Ever? Scott Warren, UFO Sightings Daily. Like and subscribe.